Hi, my name is Jay Nichols. Welcome to another DePaul Equipment Center tutorial video. Today we're going to be going over the DJI Osmo camera and gimbal. In this video we'll go over the components, setup, usage, and features. So let's go ahead and take a look at the components. First thing you'll see on the inside of the case is a small diagram right on top of the gimbal that shows the general layout of where everything goes. It's pretty straightforward, but it will help you kind of reassemble the case when you're putting it back together. In the lower right corner, you will see 4 batteries for the gimbal itself, as well as a separate DC charger. And right next to it, the power brick, so you can plug into wall power, as well as having continuous access to power in case you're running low on batteries. However, be advised, if you do decide to use the DC power, there is a completely different bottom plate for the actual adapter. So be forewarned, it will change out your system. You should have 3 caps for all the different parts for the actual gimbal itself. And you should also have base caps for the lens and the camera body itself. As far as the other accessories, we have 2 128 gigabyte micro SD cards with adapters, so when you want to transfer files. We have the adapter to carry your smartphone for a visual monitor display. This does fit most modern smartphones. However, be advised that it may not fit your case depending on what size phone you have. Here is the charging dock in the upper right corner. For the batteries themselves, it fits 4 at a time and can charge all of them. Then you have the small cheese plate with cold shoe adapter that can fit microphones to, if you want better audio systems. And then here you have a small 3/8 plug-on microphone for the gimbal itself. This is just for scratch audio in case you need to have a sample track just to layer with your mixed audio properly. The gimbal should already be built up inside the case. The case fits it just right, fully built up. It should come with the 15mm lens, the 3-axis gimbal, and the smart handle. And if you want to accessorize it with your own personal DJI accessories, you are more than welcome to. However, we do not provide that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the setup menu for the smartphone app and setting it up properly. To use the software for the DJI Osmo, you're going to want to download the DJI Go app. I have it already pulled up here in the search. However, DJI does have other applications for their other products. The only one you want is just the regular DJI Go. Ignore that. Now while that's downloading, let's go ahead and power this up. To power it up, there is a base plate switch right here at the bottom that you just kind of nudge just to open up, and it should pop open. Go ahead and insert your battery. Make sure it's locked. And it powered up. Now that the app is downloaded, let's make sure that we are connected to the actual Osmo Wi-Fi itself. Upon your smartphone's Wi-Fi features, you're going to want to connect to the Osmo underscore followed by a set of numbers and letters, which is the serial number attached to your Osmo. Right here we're connected, does not provide internet, however we have signal. The password for which is 1234. Just to make sure, the password for connecting to the Wi-Fi for the Osmo itself is 12341234, just one word. If you forget this, it does tell you that in terms of setting up the actual Osmo itself in your phone's app tutorial. So let's go ahead and sign in with our credentials. And upon entering and logging into the app, it should show a display of different DJI items, which are drones, Osmos, and other accessories. The specific item you want to select is the Osmo Pro. This is the only type of Osmo we have here at DePaul. So once you're connected, it should say Osmo connected. saying the interface is directly routed to your phone. So let's open up the camera. And then we're going to take our phone mounting bracket right here. Goes to the side. And it should fit in just right with the teeth. Once it's nice and secure, extend the arms out. And you're going to want to put this in long ways. Try it again. And here we are, back into the camera app. So, right now we have everything in automatic mode. If you wish to make adjustments to general settings for like frame rate, there is a small gear on the bottom right corner. Go into the camera settings. Video resolution. You have different options between 4K, 2.7K, and standard high definition 1080. In 4K, you have available frame rates of 30 frames per second and 24 frames per second. 2.7, 30 frames per second, 24 frames per second. And then in 1080 for more action shots, you have 60 frames per second, 48 frames per second, 30, and 24 frames per second. Currently, we are in auto mode with autofocus, in which you can adjust right here with our cameraman Jonathan. And we can select focus points to which our camera can change focus. Now, while this camera is a smaller sensor, it is a micro four thirds mounting system. So in low light, it may have difficulty tracking autofocus if your subject is in the dark. So keep that in mind when you are lighting your scene. We have the option to adjust ISO, shutter speed, and the aperture of the lens itself, as well as compensation for exposure. We have automatic settings, which will look kind of not right, one way to describe it. And then we also have different shutter speeds. We have full manual mode, which is highly recommended since you want to have complete control over everything. We'll have the aperture wide open, shutter speed back to normal, and we'll dial in the ISO just to make it a little bit more visible.
It should be noted that you can change this while you're recording.
Another great tool that you can use while doing this is being able to control exposure, shutter speed, and aperture while recording at the flick of a button on your screen. For general motor functions, you have your smart handle, which you can pan, tilt, or the combination of the two.
The trigger can be used to stabilize.
If you have fluid tracking shots and you wish to maintain the position of the camera lens itself, you have tracking, but the trigger on the front, which is located on the very front of the handle, and it will keep it in place as you are moving throughout the shot. If you wish to let go, simply release the trigger and it will move back to normal. You also have the record option right here, which is the little red dot on the black button. And we are now recording. All of our features will be accessible through the app itself. And we also have access to the microphone through the app itself in the phone, or through the microphone accessory that comes with the case. You have the option to control recordings stoppage through the phone or the handle itself. And if you wish to review the footage, you can simply go back and review in playback, which streams directly to your phone through the Osmo device. Even if you lose signal while you are tracking and recording, you do still have recording capabilities on the Osmo itself. So if you wish to make sure you got a shot in case you were too far from camera signal from the phone, you can still do playback and you should be able to view the footage just normally. Okay. Now, advanced menu systems, you can control resolution, format, video standards, and captions, as well as the overall color picture profile. Now, for advanced color correction, should you have available light and correct exposure, you should be able to advance to D-Log or D-Cinelike, which is a softer format of that. You also have standard, experimental profiles, which are pretty straightforward, similar to Instagram filters, but for cinematic purposes, the first three are your best bet. You also have overexposure warning with such as zebras, which is similar to that. You have a built-in histogram, and you have the ability to reformat, take care of flicker effects with strobes, and other various effects. You also have control over the gimbal speeds in which you can change the operation speed from fast, medium, slow, and custom for 2 different options. You have different tilt and pan controls, and then you also have calibration just to confirm that you have everything set in place. And that concludes our tutorial for the DJI Osmo Gimbal. If you have any questions, please feel free to come by the cage and we'll be more than happy to answer questions for you. And if you liked this video and thought it was helpful, please like and subscribe for other videos on other equipment here at DePaul, and we'll see you around next time.